Okay, so we're on the last page of the text, page 12, verse 108. Not even the conquerors, that's the Buddhas, can measure the heap of merit obtained by a person who for an instant meditates on the awakening mind. So an instant is just one moment. Why? It just seems not very long, but because the awakening mind is so vast, all sentient beings are included in it. Even if you meditate for an instant, the merit cannot be measured because the number of sentient beings cannot be measured. Okay? So the merit that we achieve from bodhicitta fits with the number of sentient beings that we meditate on. So if we meditate on all sentient beings, which is the bodhicitta, then the merit is unmeasurable, even in one instant, one moment. 109. A precious mind free from afflictions is the most unique and excellent jewel. It can neither be harmed nor stolen by robbers, such as the Mara of the afflictions. So ordinary jewels can be stolen. So ordinary wealth in general is something insecure and temporary. And yet we put so much effort into earning the ordinary wealth. And when we have it, safeguarding it or investing it in the right fund or whatever we do with it. But here it's saying that the precious jewel of a mind free from afflictions cannot be harmed or robbed by the maras. So the maras are afflictions. Well, if the mind's free from the afflictions can't come and do anything because the afflictions now lost their power. The afflictions are only there as long as the mind is drawn to them, as long as the mind is sort of attracted or dominated or even influenced by them. But when the mind doesn't have any more unhealthy desire, jealousy, hatred, pride, and so forth, then the afflictions cannot help. And especially with the emptiness. I mean, the emptiness is the root of the afflictions. So if we can completely remove the emptiness, then, remove the ignorance with emptiness, then the jewel of the mind is safe from the maras. Mara means devil, actually. It's a kind of Buddhist devil. And the Mara, there are 4 maras: the Mara of the afflictions, the Mara of death, the Mara of, I think, maybe impermanence, and the Mara of the sons of the gods, which is like Cupid, who shoots the arrows of desire and makes us attracted to different things. So all those maras cannot harm somebody when the emptiness has fully removed the afflictions from the mind. 110. Just as aspirations of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are unswerving, it means that all their wishes and aspirations are going in a clean, clear, straight direction. Unswerving means they're not going in different corners. Likewise, those who immerse themselves in awakening mind, that is bodhicitta, should hold firm their thought. So this is like what we said earlier about retention. We have to keep the awakening mind firm. And that isn't always easy, you know. Well, I mean, I'm sure you do know, but like right now, after you've done this kind of meditation just now, it may be that your bodhicitta determination is quite strong, but then what's going to come this evening or tomorrow or the next day that is going to weaken it? What kind of experiences do you have in your daily life that undermine your bodhicitta? In other words, what is your self-cherishing focusing on? I'm asking that question. There isn't a single answer to that. Each person has their own answer. You know yourself. Where is your self-cherishing going to undermine your bodhicitta? Each of us has our own weak points, where the self-cherishing comes in. Sometimes it's self-pity. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's greed. I mean, there's so many different kinds that can happen. So you need to know your own mind and make sure that you keep the bodhicitta firm. So you need to remind yourself of the needs of all sentient beings and remind yourself that your main purpose is to benefit all sentient beings, not just yourself. It's very simple. If you have the mind of bodhicitta, your own happiness is guaranteed. You will get all the happiness you ever wish for. In fact, you will get happiness you never even thought about. Because the happiness of the self-cherishing is actually very tight. It's like very narrow. It's me, me, me. The happiness of the bodhicitta is just a really nice kind of open feeling. Like, you know, it's openness to everybody, yes.
There's also the happiness over the arhat, that they're not really interested in the outside. They're also
Yeah.
doing me, but still they are happy because they realize emptiness.
Yeah, they do have some kind of happiness, it's true. They have the happiness of their own nirvana. But compared to the happiness that bodhicitta can bring, it's nothing. The Buddhist said that because their happiness, as you say, is still limited by their own looking just at myself, my own happiness. And of course, I'm not saying it's not happiness. It is. But the happiness of bodhicitta is greater. It's the happiness of universal love. Their happiness is not wide enough, no. It's really self-love, actually, in a certain way.
Do you know arhats were actually in the nirvana stage and then they moved into the bodhicitta stage?
I only know that what is in the teaching, that happens. I don't know any personally, if that's what you mean, no. But in general, it's said that this is what happens. They go into the peace, the nirvana of their own mind, and then at a certain stage, it says that Buddhas come to remind them about others. So,
After years.
Could be, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's all exactly the same time for everyone, but yeah, it could be. But it doesn't matter, does it? If you stay in your own bliss for 10 minutes or 10 million eons, well, if you have to come out of it and start with the bodhicitta, well, why not just start with the bodhicitta from the beginning, which is what the Mahayana practitioner does. Even though we haven't achieved our own liberation, we are starting from the beginning with an attitude, may I become enlightened for the sake of all sentient beings. And then slowly, slowly, slowly we will reach there, and then we will have all the full development that the mind can possess. Complete full development.
But the arhats are keeping a form?
No, not necessarily. No, they can just be in some kind of state of mental peace, without a form.
So they don't need to come back to...
Not regularly, no. Not regularly. At some point they will need to in order to develop bodhicitta. But for the time being, as Mary said, they could stay eons in nirvana. So you might think, oh, that sounds nice. Okay, go there, have a holiday. We'll meet you later. You see, I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? The main point is that all sentient beings are suffering. And if you think that's unbearable, then bodhicitta is the only option. If you think you can put up with everybody else suffering and just focus on your own liberation, fair enough. Then best to follow that path, maybe. I don't know, I can't say. We have to make our own mind up. I'm just saying that when you see the suffering of the world, I think it's very hard to just look away, which is what they have to do. Maybe. I can't speak for you, you know. Okay. 111. Even with wonder, you should strive, as explained here in the preceding lines. Even with wonder. You should strive here. Thereafter, you yourself will realize Samantabhadra's great enlightened deeds. I think even with wonder means, even if you're wondering whether it's true or not, that's I don't think it means wonder in the sense of isn't everything wonderful. I don't think that makes sense, even with wonder. So I think it means doubt. Even if you're wondering whether this is really the best thing or not, you should strive, as explained here. Then, after, you yourself will realize Samantabhadra's great enlightening deeds. I think that's what it means. So Samantabhadra, as we mentioned before, is one of the great bodhisattvas at the time of Buddha. So his deeds were described as being all good. His deeds were all good, all beneficial. So in other words, even if right now you're not completely sure about this, and it may well apply to one or two people here, that's fine. Just do it. Just do it, and then the results will come. That's a good guarantee, isn't it? You can ask for your money back if that doesn't work. Okay. And then, finally, verse 112. This is the dedication by Nagarjuna. By the incomparable merits I have obtained today from this activity of praising the awakening mind, hailed, that means proclaimed by the excellent conquerors, the Buddhas, may all sentient beings, submerged by the waves of the ocean of psychic existence, it means they're kind of drowning, or they already drowned, travel on the path trodden by the leader of the bipeds. And bipeds is people on 2 feet, such as ourselves, and the leader of the bipeds is the Buddha. So the Buddha trod the path to enlightenment. The Buddha showed that this path is possible, that we can reach enlightenment. And all we do is we follow in the Buddha's footsteps, and we ourselves will come to enlightenment. And so he's dedicating that this might happen due to the merit of basically writing this text. So now we've finished studying the text, we could also rejoice in the merit from studying this complete text. And I know that doesn't apply to some people here because you didn't study the first parts, but there are some people here who studied the whole text. So there's something very satisfying about studying a whole text, especially a great text like this, which really covers the whole Buddhist path. Because then there's a feeling at the end, this is something complete. And then you dedicate the merit of that to enlightenment, then it's a very powerful dedication. But even if you could only come for a short time, just to dedicate the merit that you produced is really good. And I guess that when we do the Lama Chepa puja, then we can use that as an opportunity to dedicate the merit of all the good thoughts we had at this time. So that is it.